Okay, hi everybody. And okay, first off, I want to say thank you to Bianca for having me here. I'm so stoked to do this for you and just with you. So, yay, my budget buddy. I love it. So, buying and selling during a pandemic. That's what we're going over today. But before we begin, I want to introduce myself. My name is Melanie Smith. I own Mel Estate Realty, and I'm with Keller Williams Realty in Irvine. I serve the Irvine community as well as Tustin, but Orange County pretty much as a whole. You know what? I'm so excited that all of you guys are here. Like, I'm so stoked about it. And I look forward to sharing my knowledge with you and just helping you get a better idea and view of what's going on right now in the market and just how you can be a better buyer or seller right now. I'd love, let's see, maybe wait a couple seconds. It's fine. We'll go on. I hope all of your families are doing well and that you guys are doing well too and just staying safe during this time. I know it's crazy out there, but we got to stay positive and just make sure that we're doing everything we can to keep our perceptions positive and happy and just ready to go into the future with great goals. So I am excited for you that you're here because that means that you are looking forward to your future and looking forward to home buying or even selling your home. So I'm excited to get started with you on that. Now I'm just going to, I have some visuals for you guys, so I'll be sharing them with you as we go on. For now, I want you guys to just have your questions ready. I know I had some of you guys bring questions, but I just want you to know the rundown of how everything's going to go. For the first half or first big chunk of it, we'll be talking about buyers, and the buyers are a pretty big part because they are what changed the most during the COVID-19 situation. So I'm going to go over the buyers first, and then during the times, there'll be times where I'll stop or I'll ask for an aha moment, or if you have any questions for that section, and you can absolutely just ask me, or you can even type in the box as we go along, and I'll see them and answer them, okay? And then after that, we'll do sellers, and then the last 10, 20 minutes, probably not 20, probably 10 minutes will be you guys answering questions of your own, just that you brought here, what you're curious of, what you need help with answering. And I'd love to answer those for you because I have a lot of information. I'm going to tell you guys, but for sure, if you have questions, feel free, please. So shall we begin? Let's begin. So why buy? Why buy? Well, first, you're living in your community, you move all of your things, you live, you pay, you leave when you want. I get it, okay? Renting is easy. No question that renting is the number one choice people turn to while saving money to buy a home. And I put these in quotations because that process always starts with that goal. However, usually it ends up stretching over time and ends up being, renting is just easy, right? You get comfortable, you pay the rent, life goes on, no maintenance. All of a sudden, you've been renting for 10 years. Now, of course, life plans happen, but let's look into this. So your rent payment is $2,300, let's say for a 2-bedroom apartment in Irvine, okay? That's $27,600 a year towards your landlord or a corporation every single year. We've all done this, and that's fine, no problem. But imagine that $27,600 going towards equity in your own home. Equity equals ownership, okay? And that's the goal. On a $600,000 home or condo, that's 0.04% ownership in your home in the first year. Now, that doesn't seem like a lot, I'm sure, but it's 0.04% more than you own when you're paying your landlords in equity. In fact, you're paying their mortgage and they're grateful. Let's get you closer to equity. So I don't know, I can't see you guys, but if you're a first-time home buyer, definitely chime in. I'm excited for you, and I really look forward to you taking your next step into ownership, okay? I'm sure you're wondering, what in the world do I do? And where in the world do I start? You guys can chat to me in the thing if you have any questions, okay? During most, you can, okay. Thanks for coming. Okay. During most instances, organization is key. So I put together a graphic for you so you can see an entire overview of your position as a buyer and what there is to expect, okay? So I'm gonna go ahead and put that up for you right now. It's okay. Let's go ahead and minimize that. All right. So here is the table right here, guys. So we're gonna start right here. Meet with a real estate professional. Hire an agent. So I'm sure you're thinking, well, why can't I just look on Zillow, go see the properties, do it myself? I mean, I'll answer that for you. We know the fun part is looking at properties, right? Well, there's more to buying a house than just looking at a dream home. As realtors, we hope that you spend most of the time doing things that you love. And that's looking for the apartment, for the house, sorry. And just let us handle the hard stuff, okay? Working with lenders, contractors, inspections, correspondence with the sellers and their team, all of the behind the scene works that goes into doing this is, I mean, you don't have to. There's no need that you have to do all of that work. And just think of it this way. What if a new property with your exact want pops up on the MLS and you miss it? What happens? Like, do you have access to the MLS? Are you searching daily in the morning for what's going to work best for you and your family? Are you going to miss them? Some other family might come and scoop it up, and had you have a realtor, they would have sent it to you right in the morning and you could have been seeing the property later on. So think about that. I mean, are you going to be able to stay within the guidelines that you give yourself, such as your budget? Are you going to be able to give yourself a pep talk when things get tough? Because it does get tough out there. These are many things that you can utilize. These are many ways that you can utilize a realtor during your time of home buying. I mean, it can be so stressful, and we really just want to take that weight off of you. Let's get off this thing. So we just want to make sure that you are taken care of. So we are here to just be the logic, present the numbers, be the voice, be the motivation. We are here for you to ensure that everything goes smoothly as possible, okay? When you meet with an agent, because I'm sure you've never, as a first-time home buyer, you've never done this. When you meet with an agent, such as me, we'll do a video call just like this, and it'll be just us, just during this time. Before, it was a one-on-one interview, but we'll do it online through a Zoom call, and I'll interview you. I mean, I'll ask you everything, what your wish list is, what do you want in a home, and everything. And I will go over what my value to you as an agent is, as well as a full timeline of what to expect. So that whole thing, when you get a timeline, that means you get a exact moment when all these little things of buying your home is coming up. Like, you will always have constant communication, and any problem that ever arises, your realtor will handle it for you 100%. Okay, So this next step is, it can be interchanged with the first one, get pre-approved, okay? So this one is kind of the hard one. A lot of people get stuck at this one. So this is usually they'll start with home searches and then maybe dip their toe into seeing what an agent's like. And then the second it's time to get pre-approved, it's scary. It's so scary, right? So let's try to shy away from that. Most people say, I know I'm not ready yet to do that, or I know I don't qualify. Well, let me ask you this. How do you know that? How would you know that? Okay, imagine getting pre-qualified is like putting a bunch of items that you want into your shopping cart. You're finding out the taxes and how much it will be afterwards. And yes, they run your credit during pre-approval. Yes, they have to determine your credit to see how much home you can afford. And so just think of it as putting all these things into your cart, and plus shipping and taxes, and just getting a whole number of what you want. And so now you get to save it. You get to save up for it. So you don't know until you have sufficient tangible information to work on when moving forward with your home buying goal, if that makes sense. So say you get pre-approved and your credit is too low, okay? Now we have something to work on, a goal, a timeline, and an efficient way to tackle it. So there are many ways to improve your credit, so many tips and ways, and it can be done in time. So now, instead of saying, I don't know if I qualify, you can say, in 6 months, I will qualify for the home I want because I'm doing what it takes to improve my credit to do so. So now you're moving in that direction instead of just staying and not having any numbers to have a goal towards. Does that make sense? That makes sense. They run our credit. Yes, absolutely. You should definitely improve your credit. If you know your credit, which you should, definitely work on your credit and then get pre-approved. You may be able to get it. It depends. I mean, you should know your credit for sure. It would help. With that said, I am more than happy to refer my lenders to you, and they have many ways of being pre-approved for a home, such as just non-conventional ways too, like bank statement loans, just different ways to make sure that you are able to pay for a home that go beyond just the strict 20% down, things like that. It's a good credit. I would say 620 is a good base that you can go for. And from there, anything higher than that, you can definitely get more. You can go less for FHA and VA loans. But yeah, 620 is a good goal for sure. So just know, when I can provide you lenders, they'll reach out to you and they'll do that the whole check for you and see where you stand, and then that way you can have a goal that you can aim for. And know that there's no obligation ever when working with a lender. So think of it as you just getting a checklist or a guideline of what's to come next, or a green light. That'd be awesome, a green light. Okay, I'm going to share this. That's a good question. Okay, good question. We're gonna move on. Oh, right here, so these two can be interchanged. You can get pre-approved before talking to an agent, but for sure you will get pre-approved after talking to an agent, because as agents, we don't get paid until the home sells that we are procuring a buyer for. So we are taking people around on tours, and most of the time it's just, we make sure that everyone is pre-approved. That way we're not taking people to properties that they're not approved for or couldn't even get, or just simply people that are kind of window shopping and that just aren't ready for a home. I mean, as fun as it is to play HGTV, we just really want people to be pre-approved first. So go ahead and take a look at that. You'll need pay stubs, W-2s, bank statements, all that stuff, okay? So the next step would be to search for homes, which is the fun part. So fun, especially if you've hired an agent. So you'll get what this looks like. Usually your agent will send you a list of properties that we're going to go look at today, or you can send your agent properties that you want to see, definitely. And right now during this time, we can do FaceTime videos, Google Talk, Zoom calls. The whole thing is virtual and video, and that's just a way that we can connect to and just be there at the properties. And then you'll definitely be able to see the property in person, of course, but we are doing as much online as possible. And I'll get to that in the COVID section. So yeah, search for homes, so exciting. Please know that all MLS, all situations are not the same. So if you're shopping on Zillow or Redfin or things like that that are not directly associated with realtors, then you're getting last minute information. Our information from your realtor are up to time within minutes, whereas those sites, they'll update I think every hour. But just imagine a situation where you find a property on Zillow and it turns out this property is pending because it wasn't updated. You definitely want to make sure that you're always using the tools that your realtor provides you, because Zillow has a way of not having the correct information. So moving on. When you find your home, you make an offer, and your agent will work directly with you, very closely with you, and making sure that you put the right offer on the table so as not to offend the seller, to just make sure that you are in a powerful position as a buyer and putting forward the best offer possible so that you're chosen. Because it could be a situation where the seller has multiple offers and you want yours to stand out. And so during the buyer consultation that I do with my clients, I definitely go over all of that and just how you can have more power as a buyer, and I go more into that. But this is the part where it gets into the nitty-gritty, pretty much. Negotiation and contract. So sometimes sometimes there won't be any negotiations. You put in the right offer and the seller accepts it. But other times the offer might be counter-offered. So the seller will counter-offer and just see if they can get some things down for you. It could be price. It could be something that you put in there that you wanted something repaired before moving in there, or you're negotiating maybe a chandelier to come with the house, or the appliances in the kitchen to come with the house. Things like that. That's what happens during the contract situation. So you're also going to have a timeline of finances. You're going to have the inspection, and sometimes before closing, after the inspection, they'll find something, and then the seller will have to fix that. And we'll do that in the next couple steps. So next up is escrow. So after the contract negotiation, you are on your way. Escrow is a middleman for the buyer and the buyer's agent and the seller and the seller's agent. You'll still be in contact with your agent, but this is now where all of the funds go into escrow. All of the contracts are hired by escrow. Escrow is taking care of everything that's about to happen and just finalizing documents and things like that. So the next step would be the final details. And this is when the appraisal's done, the inspections happen, and say something were to happen, you could say, you could find something in the inspection that something's wrong, and you can talk to the seller and say, hey, I want this fixed, or I want this done. And in that case, the seller would either give you a credit to have it fixed, or they would fix it and then closing would happen. So the repairs could make the escrow a little longer, but that's okay. As long as you're both in agreement to what you want to do, then it's fine. If you want a shorter close, then definitely you could take the credit. So let's see. And the next is closing. How exciting. So closing is a transfer of funds and ownership. As the buyer, you get the title, and as the seller, they get all the funds and the money. And also you get the keys, of course. It's your new home. How exciting. So how much is escrow? So there's no cost for escrow. And then closing costs really depend on everything that goes on. So that would be the inspections, that'd be the termite things, and all of this would be negotiated in the contract as well. So you and your seller, it's all in the contract. The contract is about 10 pages. And so there are marks where you'll put, I'm going to put this much, and I'm going to do this day. The closing costs, again, negotiated. It could be, if you are in that position, if you are just ahead of it, you could say, just right from the beginning, I want to pay, or this is my offer, and I want you to pay this much towards closing costs. You can absolutely put that in the contract. And whether the seller agrees to it or not is up to them, and they'll just go from there and see how it is. Yeah, everything in real estate is negotiable, everything. So let's see what's next. Yeah, now you're a homeowner. How exciting. So that wasn't hard, was it? That wasn't hard. I mean, this process, it can go a lot of different ways, and timelines vary. So some buyers, they'll find their house in a couple weeks, and then other people, it takes months or years even. And so I'm working with a guy right now and his family, and they're in Tustin Ranch, and they want a specific home. They want a specific community, but they want a specific high school and a specific middle school. And so every time a property pops up, he absolutely needs to know that there's a new home, and it's just important to stay on top of all of the new listings. Otherwise, it could extend your search that much longer if your search criteria is small like his. So having someone advocating for you and sending you listings all the time is super important. So are there any questions, any ahas, anything that you learned before we go to the next section? A giant water bottle. Okay, awesome. That is awesome. So we will move on. So now that you know how the process of home buying goes, let's look at the process of home buying right now during a pandemic, okay? So I'm sure you know this by now, but everything is online, everything. So thankfully, we live in an age where business communication can easily and has easily been integrated to work fully online. In fact, besides outlier factors like perception, realtors have been able to do business as usual, closing home escrows and listing new listings for the past couple months during quarantine, all online. So it's been fine and it's been great. Meetings, property showings, even contract signings are all able to go online. And viewing properties will consist of really just being as safe as possible. So I mean, not all realtors are the same, but I definitely provide gloves and masks for my clients, and I just make sure that we're constantly washing our hands, constantly being clean, and we just want to make sure that the seller is comfortable with buyers coming in their home, and we want to make sure that you're comfortable during your home search. I mean, we don't want to be spreading germs and stuff like that. We just want to make sure we're doing our due diligence to be clean and stay protected. So with that said, we do have a couple forms that have been added to the contract, that one's optional and one has to be done. So the coronavirus form, buyers and sellers will have the opportunity to opt into signing this form, which ensures security during uncertain times. So it'll allow either party to postpone escrow up to 30 days, remove the loan contingency of the buyer if they're not able to secure their loan in the allotted time due to COVID-19, and or cancel the transaction, giving the buyer back their deposit. So this is an and/or situation, and it's checking boxes on the contract. So you don't have to do all three of those. It's really between the buyer and the seller which ones they want to do. And you can do all or not fill it out at all. It's up to you guys. And so the signed form, or the COVID-19 form, is signed prior to entering a seller's home to ensure safety. So you're consenting that you haven't displayed any symptoms within a certain period of time. And you're honoring this, and you're using your best judgment and just making sure everyone is safe. It's important to just make sure that you're doing your due diligence, not just as a buyer, but as somebody in the community who is just going to be good and not spread the virus. I mean, we really just want to make sure that we're staying safe. So you'd sign that form, and you're promising these people that you indeed have not had symptoms, okay? You promise. All right. So after all of that, I'm sure you're wondering by now, is it a good time to buy? And the answer is, I mean, it's an ongoing question. The answer is yes, okay? Yes, yes, yes. Not only is it a great time to buy, it is the best time to buy, given that we don't know what the future holds. I mean, we don't know. So we know what today holds. Rates have been kept low by our government in order to stimulate the economy and keep homes selling. Even this morning, the rates have dropped even lower. We're in the 3.2% up to the 4% right now, which is lower than it even was at the beginning of the year, which is amazing. So this may be the best rate that you'll have for months, years, and I mean, there's no way of telling the future, but we do have a good setup right now. So with that said, the downside right now is low inventory. Sellers are afraid to sell to bargain buyers, and they're afraid to sell of uncertainty, and they're just afraid to sell in general because they just want to wait. They want to see how it's going to go. But I ask you, what do you think is best? Do you think it's best to take advantage of the great market that we have right now, although there's a lot of fear, or wait for a market that's completely unknown and out of our control set in the future? Today is the day, guys. So moving forward, despite low inventory, is a really good move if you're in the position to do so, for sure. Because we don't know what next year is going to look like. We just really don't. Any questions about that section? Ahas. So the rate will depend on your area, but in my area, we're at around 3.2% to 4%, and that's going to obviously depend on your application as well, but 3.2 would be a really great rate to lock in, for sure. Yes. Okay. What time is it? 3:33. Perfect. Yeah, we are going to move on to the seller part if any buyers don't have any questions. All right. So home sellers, so you're ready to sell your next home. Awesome. Do you have a plan of where you're going next? Do you have a realtor? Are you going to try to sell it yourself? No. Let's look at the process. You're welcome. Contact me about anything. If you have any questions ever, just let me know. Anytime. Yes, thanks, Bianca. You're welcome. I'm so glad to hear that. So as a seller now, you are now about to hire your agent. And I'm sure you're wondering, why hire an agent? I can post my home online. I can do ads. I can host my own open houses. You sure can, Superman or woman. But why would you want to? Again, this strenuating process is a process that no one has to go through alone unless they just love pressure and stress. As realtors, we want to make sure that you are as relaxed as possible and stress-free during the time of selling your home. I mean, there's no need for you to become a full-time real estate agent when selling your home. You have a job, you have your life, you have so many other things going on. Why add posting ads, hosting people in your house, negotiating, figuring out documents? Forget it. It's so much work. So I am here to take away the stress. Plus, I can net you more money than you would on your own and save you money without even touching my commission. Yes, seller pays the commission. Okay, the seller pays the commission, and oftentimes when sellers try to sell their own home, they do net less than they would if they were to hire an agent. Plus, all of the sweat equity, had they been open to paying a commission to a realtor, they still would have gotten a better deal for their home. Lesson learned. Pricing your home. So as a realtor, it's my job, we're going to go on to the next. So pricing your home correctly. It's my job to conduct and present a market analysis for your home. The analysis is based on homes that have sold recently around your home that are within the same likeness. It's also my job as a realtor to help separate emotions from the business transaction. Yes, you might want $900,000 for your home, but the comparative market analysis presents homes in your area are around $750,000. I know you spent $100,000 upgrading your home, but when compared to comps in the neighborhood, you are right on par with the market. It's important for you to get in the mindset of being as in line with the market as possible, because I mean, while also getting the price that you want. I mean, we do want to make you happy, but we want to be in line with what the market's, okay? So I'm just going to do a little example for you guys, a little visual example of how the market is versus how your home is placed, okay? Imagine this is the market. This is the baseline for where the market is, okay? You and I, we speak, and I'm your agent, and you tell me you want your home, you do want your home $150,000 over what the market says you should be at. So here you are up here, higher than market value, okay? So down here are where all the buyers are that want your type of home. They're here, they're putting in offers, they're excited, it's buzzing down here. What do you think is going on up here at your property? I mean, yeah, maybe you'll get a couple views, you'll get a couple curious people wondering, well, why is this one priced so high? I've got to see the inside. But like we said, it's on par with what's on the market. So do you think that you're going to get as much traffic and buzz as as these people down here that are in line with what the market should be? Do you think that you're going to get that? So if you are working with me, we have a contract and we will have a payment schedule where, yes, I will let you have what you want. I will let you list your home over market value, but 2 weeks in, on a very specified date, you will drop the price of your home. And we agree on that. And I mean, we're going to let it buzz. We're going to see what your home does the first couple of weeks at that price. But for the most part, 2 weeks, we're for sure dropping that price. So now that you drop that price, do we know where the market's going to be in 2 weeks? No, we don't. But I mean, it can't go too far too fast. But there might be a sale that's less than what was in the comps. So here the market is, and there you are. So now you're in a position to be chasing the market, just like this. This is all you're doing. And now your home is just racking up days on the market. And buyers see that and they see, why has this home been on the market for 300? 300 is high. Why has this home been on the market for 100 days? What is going on? Despite COVID-19, okay? Okay, so what we want to do is just make sure that we're pricing that home correctly from the beginning. And a lot of that comes with making sure that you're hiring the right agent who's going to do that for you and make sure, just go back with you and not just give you everything you want, but actually educate you on the market and the process and put your home in a position to sell correctly the first time, okay? We also have a situation where we can use this as leverage, use the market as leverage. So we'll do another example. This is the baseline, and this is where we list your home. So yes, people are buzzing up here, but they're going to dip down there. They're going to dip below as well and come see your property. And so in this situation, you'll create some buzz. You might end up in a situation where you have multiple offers and you end up being above market. So that's one strategy that people do use when it comes to listing their home. It's a great strategy. It brings a lot of buyers and a lot of quick offers. But the thing is that you have to get beyond the mindset that sticker price is lower than you actually want it to be. So we'll just keep that in mind. So setting yourself up with the correct price from the beginning is going to help you in the future of your sales price and the future of your neighbor's sales price. I mean, you got to keep the market strong, okay? So next up, after establishing a price, you are going to prepare your home. So we'll end up doing photography. We'll go over staging, definitely. If you are moving out of your home before you're selling, you definitely should look into staging your home. Even if you're staying, you can stage, but definitely if it's going to be a vacant property, staged homes sell much better than vacant properties do. You will net more with a staged home than you will with a vacant property. And staging is a cost from the beginning. It's an upfront cost, but again, you'll get more money in the end. So it's something you should consider and talk about. And I would just always say go for staging, 100%. Besides that, preparing your home, you want to make sure that buyers are comfortable, that you want to make sure that they're able to envision themselves in the home. So you want to make sure that you're setting up your mindset to move. Your home's listed, your home's getting ready to be listed, and it's time to pack a little bit, okay? So we don't want any clutter around the house. We don't want shoes lying around and stuff. You're going to be cleaning a lot more than you're used to cleaning. You're going to be really it's going to be like a model home. You're pretty much taking out the personal touches and just allowing the buyer to picture themselves in your home. That's what you want. And it's very nice and considerate of you to take down your family photos and allow them to just emulate themselves into your home. If you want to do that, And that's what preparing your home is usually like. And then we'll get the photography in there as well, and videography. All right, and then next is list for sale. So when everything's in place, your home goes on the market. Agents, especially, I mean, Keller Williams, we have a very great group of agents with buyers, and they're always looking for our newly listed. Even we'll say coming soon to create some buzz, but agents will bring their buyers to the property. And you really want to make sure that your schedule for this is as open and free as possible, because you're going to create the best results. But it is up to you when you want to let people into your home. You can make it a free-for-all between certain hours, of course, or you can just say Monday through Friday, 5 to 8, something like that. It's all up to you, but just know it's critical to make sure that buyers can easily come view your home during this time. Next up is offers and negotiations. So a wonderful buyer comes in, loves it, and puts in an offer. So, and you're happy with your offer, you're gonna go with it. Your agent will give you all of your offers, all of them, and make sure that you have them all on the table. You're going to see all the different buyers. If there's multiple ones, sometimes there's only one. So you'll choose your offer and do your negotiations. Sometimes they'll ask for things. You will decide whether or not you want to do that. They'll ask for things like appliances, or sometimes a chandelier, or some kinds of just some things. So you're going to look at all the offers and see where you stand with that. So once you approve the offer, you will go under contract. So at this point, everything's been signed, everything's ready to go, and then the final details will ensue. And that would be the physical inspection of the home and the appraisal. The buyer is finalizing their finances. You are packing, you are getting ready. Not completely, I mean, I would definitely make sure that the buyer's contingencies are cleared before you're packing up your entire home, but definitely make sure that you're ready, because you and the buyer will decide on a time where you're moved out and they move in. There's a set move out date and move in date. So you guys will go by that. Closing. We're going to do the last step, closing. So this is the transfer of funds and ownership, depending on when the buyer moves. I mean, again, this is in the contract when they'll move in and when they won't. So you'll get your money as the seller, and then they'll get their keys. And that's it. Congratulations, you have sold your home. So exciting. So beyond that, the buyer is happy, you are happy, all is well, and you've moved on to the next chapter in your life, maybe a brand new home that your realtor has helped you with, and you're ready to set up there. Woo. So any ahas? Did you learn anything? Any questions about that section? Oh, it's so nice. All right, so selling during a pandemic, how? So much like a buyer's side, the buyer's side, a lot of stuff is online. So all of the contracts we can do online, the showing, the one-on-one contact, the interview with the agent, 100% online. And if you can, even it could be a video call, just walking around, showing the home, and your agent and giving you advice on what things you should move or how to make the flow in your house better. You might even rearrange your furniture differently than you're used to, just so that your home appeals to a wider audience of buyers. That's definitely a good way for you to make sure that there's no bias. They're just getting buyers in and keeping it perfect like that. So anyway, online, I will do video calls a lot, and but there are a lot of more in-person things when it comes to the selling side. So don't shy away from that. We will be making sure everything's sanitized. And again, not all agents are the same, but I'll make sure that all of my people have gloves and masks, and we're constantly washing our hands, and we're really doing everything we can to ensure everything is clean, safe, and ready for all parties involved. Like your safety and your cleanliness is so important during this process. And I know that it's scary sometimes to have buyers come into your home and just check it out, but we'll make sure that everything's clean. And it's also important that that you know that your care and our community is important, and I'll always make sure that you're taken care of every step of the way, just making sure that everything's great. So with that said, wow, that went right to the 10 minutes. Q&A at the end. So let's see, what are some questions that were asked? And you guys can absolutely email me or just go to my website and do the contact me form. And my email is melistate26@gmail.com, and my website is melistate.com. And I'll also type it into the chat box. But yeah, I'm absolutely open at any time to educate you and help you on the process, because a lot of this is about perception. And if we have a big group of people, say the sellers right now with there being low inventory, we have a big group of people who are afraid to make moves, even though it's the right time, but they're just uneducated and don't really know. And there's a lot of fear going on as well. But looking at the news this morning of the real estate market, it really looks like it's going to be great. It's trending very positively. If in real estate, we always compare numbers to the year before. And right now we're in a situation where we can't do that. So of course, when saying huge percent of people are unemployed compared to last year, it's going to be like it's a huge hit. But in reality, the home prices are not dropping as much as people think they are. They're pretty on par. There's not much of a gap when it comes to offers that are coming in. The market is still strong, and what they're saying is that they think that the housing market is what's going to keep our economy alive. So that's really good news. So if there's anything or any way or any topic that you need me to instill positivity to you on, I would love to talk to you about it. And also just know that I'm a fact person. I'll always come with facts. I don't push things to just be all positive and for real estate. When I say it's a great time to buy, that means that I 100% believe that it is a great time to buy. I'm not just saying it because I'm a realtor. And I mean, I would just, going off of that, I wouldn't want you to wait right now and miss out on an opportunity that you could have had. We don't know where the market's going. We have no idea, but we are in a great situation right now. So I hope that if you are in a position to buy or you are in a position to sell, you've been pre-qualified as a buyer and as a seller, you know you have the equity to do so, to sell, do it, absolutely. And contact me if you have any questions or anything. Let's see. Anything else? I hope you guys enjoyed this. I really liked putting this together for you, because as I said, I love educating and just helping people be a little more positive and just see things differently so that they can make the right move for their future. I mean, I wouldn't want to be renting forever, definitely, but in some way, I mean, you might put yourself in a situation to be renting a little longer if you wait, right? So, yeah, it's just very interesting. Let's see. And yeah, that's the end of the questions. Okay. Well, you know what, guys? I want to thank you so much for being here, and thank Bianca. Thank you so much, Bianca. I'm so glad that you had me on this, and I'm definitely going to do another one next month. I would love to. So bring some questions, definitely, and we don't know where we'll be in a month, so I could have totally different. It won't be totally different information, but I'll have some new information for sure. And just before closing out, I do just want to say I hope that your families are doing well, and that you're doing well, and that you all are happy, and just getting through these times. I know it's hard, so you can do it. And if you need a lender to get pre-qualified, definitely just give me your information and I'll have my lender contact you, and you can get pre-qualified. Just start putting that stuff in your cart and see what your goal is. How much can you afford, and how far you are from affording what you want to afford. So, and then lastly, if you'd like any of the graphics that I showed you today, I can absolutely email them to you, just so that you have a little chart that you can follow to get you to home buying or selling really soon. So I look forward to hearing from you and helping you. And thanks again, Bianca. Hope you have an amazing week. Bye.